Hi, fourth graders. We sure miss you. Hopefully these math videos help you get through some of your lessons on Zern. If you are ahead on Zern, then feel free to watch just because you miss my awesome math jokes or you're that bored that you'll watch a math video that you don't need. Or if you are on lesson 6 through 10 on Zern, these videos will help you get through those. If it's not enough, because I'll just do a few examples from each lesson, you can go to YouTube and there's tons of videos on there that will go through more examples, or use the math chat or learning lab, it's sometimes called, on Zern, and those will walk you through stuff too. Okay? All right. This video covers lessons 6 and 7. The other one goes through lessons 8, 9, and 10. Also, just a recap for my students and to let the rest of you fourth graders know, we're all math people. We all are going to do math, and we are all people. So we're going to be math people today. Okay, decimals. This is just a good chart. This is something we would post in our classroom if we get to be there again. But thinking about decimals as money is really helpful and makes it make sense for kids. So, for all of us. So thinking of whole numbers as dollars, tenths as dimes, and hundredths as pennies will be really helpful, and we'll refer to that a lot. All right, lesson 6, the learning target is to use the area model and number line to represent mixed numbers with units of ones, tenths, and hundredths in fraction and decimal form. So the directions for this one say shade the area models to represent the number, drawing horizontal lines to make hundredths as needed. Locate the corresponding point on the number line, label a point with a point, and record the mixed number as a decimal. So we've got all kinds of jobs to do for this one problem. But first, they give us a mixed number, and we need to turn that into a decimal. So we have one whole number and 15 hundredths. For our one whole number, we don't need to do anything to split this area model. We can just shade it. Okay, I know, excuse the awesome drawings. Okay, we do need to, because we're working in hundredths and this is only split into tenths, we're going to draw all the lines to split it into hundredths, and this kind of looks like the base 10 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we get the idea. We'll have one full column colored in, one full one colored in, and then 5 little ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, colored in to model one. This is like one whole dollar and 15 cents or 15 pennies, if you want to think about it that way, or 1 dime and 5 pennies. Okay, and then on the number line, if we know we have to be past 1, and then 15 out of 100 past that. So we know we're going to go to 1, then we'll go 10 more, even though this just looks like 1, this is like worth 10 pennies, and then 5 more pennies. So that would be 1 and 15 hundredths. Okay, all right. There we go. Okay. This just says estimate to locate the points on the number lines, mark the point, and label it as decimal. The reason they say estimate is because they don't want you drawing 100 lines. They just want you to kind of look at this and figure out about where that would be. We do notice that this is divided into tenths. So we could think about this as 2 dimes or 20 pennies. So we're going to go over 2 and put our decimal or our point, okay? Same thing here, 1 and 75 out of 100, so 7 dimes, 5 pennies. So if we go over 7 of the big chunks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 5 like halfway to the next 10, that would be 1 and 75 hundredths. All right, then this says write the equivalent fraction and decimal for each number. So you just write the whole number, and for a fraction, just be 24, and they tell, like if you just read the word, it tells you how to write it. 8 ones, 24 hundredths. And then the decimal from there is the same. 8 ones and 24 hundredths. $8.24 if you want to think about it that way. It's good to think about it that way with this one especially. So 2 ones 6/100. Okay, that makes sense because they're telling us what label or what denominator to use, but when you do your decimal, you need to be really careful that you don't make it 6/10 all of a sudden. So we need to make sure we put the 6 in the hundredth spot. All right. All right, lesson 7. We'll just go through this pretty quick here. It says model mixed numbers with units of hundreds, tens, ones, tenths, and hundredths in expanded form and on the place value chart. So with these, you can almost just look at these as dimes. $10 bills. These are $10 bills. Very different. And dimes and pennies. So 2 $10 bills, these are whole numbers, would be worth $20. 5/10 or 5 dimes. So we would write 5/10 like this, but if you want, and that's perfectly fine. You can also, if you're thinking about 5 dimes and you want to write it as 50 hundredths or 50 cents, that's fine too. And then our 3 hundredths or our 3 pennies, and you put those all together, $20 and 53 cents. Okay, same thing here. This is 500. You gotta pay attention to this. It's not hundredths. And 4 pennies. Okay. 500 and 4 pennies. They're trying to trick you by mixing the words in there. All right. So that it's the beginning of lesson 7. The other one they wanted is on a place value chart. Okay, so we did these with place value into the millions. This time we're just going the other direction on the other side of the decimal point. So these are pretty simple. It just says use the place value chart to answer the following questions. Express the value of the digit in unit form. So the digit what number is in the hundreds place. So this is an 8. And how much is it worth? And that would be 800. Okay. The digit 2 is in the tens place and it has a value of 20. Now they're looking at tenths. They didn't go all the way in order. They skipped the 1, so pay attention to directions. 6/10 and it has a value of 0.6. And the digit 4 is in the hundreds place and it has a value of 0.04. All right. Last thing, and I'm not going to do anything on this slide, I just want to point it out quickly, is you will see stuff like this on Zern, and most kids, when they see a whole bunch of parentheses, they just think it's mumbo jumbo and they automatically let their brains turn off. But this is exactly what we just did on the place value chart, just written differently. So they're looking at this number 15 and 43 hundredths, and they're looking at how many they have in each place value. So they're saying they have 1, 10, 5 ones, 4 in the tenths place, and 3 in the hundredths place. That's all they're doing. So in Zern, you'll have to click a tile and fill in something that looks like this for lesson 7, and you'll be just fine. Just don't turn your brain off. Okay? All right, that's it for now. Your assignment for Monday and Tuesday is to finish lesson 6 and 7 on Zern. The other video will go through lessons 8, 9, and 10. And if you are someone who is ahead on Zern, go ahead and do some 4th grade review on Prodigy, some extra fact practice, take some time to do something fun with math, build some more Legos or something. Okay? All right, have a good week, you guys.